Welcome back to Real Life Reviews, and today we're going to take a look at Hoka owner One's latest iteration of the Speedgoat, the Speedgoat 5. Followers of the channel will know we've done the 4, the 3 and the 2 by review, so let's have a little look at the Speedgoat 5. First things first though, the weight of this shoe, and quite naturally the current trend in running shoes is to get lighter and lighter, and that's clearly a good thing in many respects. I would temper it a little, particularly with trail shoes, that they still need to be robust and capable to do the job you want them to do. And in this case the shoe is, and it is getting lighter. So I've weighed the right hand shoe, it's a size 8, European 42. I've got my Speedgoat 4 and 3 to compare it with. Scientifically, I guess it should be right against right in case I have an imbalance. Truth is, if I weigh the left, I've got my foot pod on this and it will add some grams. So I'm simply just doing what I've got. So Speedgoat 5, 277 grams. The Speedgoat 4, if you remember this, if you've seen the video, is 299 grams. And you might argue that this is now a lot more worn. However, this one has done 100 miles now, just over, and if you have a look at it, you can see it's got some wear, although not a lot of wear. It has worn very well. So the 4 at 299 grams was 22 grams heavier, or this is 22 grams lighter. You might remember that the 4 was slightly heavier than the 3, which this now sits at 289 grams. So it bumped a bit of weight up to the 4, and it's now dropped weight evenly either side. So pretty much. So this is 10 grams lighter than the 4. The 4 got 10 grams heavier, and now the 5 is 22 grams lighter. So yeah, it's light, but it's still robust. So where's this weight reduction come from? Well, two areas in particular. The first being the midsole, and that is significantly lighter, yet just as responsive and plush as it always has been. I use the terms responsive and plush guardedly. Hoka rate their midsoles on a scale from responsive to plush and rate this as balanced in the middle. I'd like to say that this is actually quite plush. I think the Hoka feel is quite a plush feel, but it's also responsive. So balanced is a good term, and yeah, Hoka, that's where they've reduced the weight, and I agree with them in terms of when they call it a balance. In terms of this midsole, it still has the same stack height. That remains unchanged. That's a heel to toe drop as well of 4mm, which remains unchanged. So that's where the first element of weight reduction has come in. The second element of weight reduction is in that there are fewer overlays in this shoe. That inevitably means there's a bit less material, therefore it's lighter, and Hoka are also aligning that to being that it's a more sustainable construction because there's less materials going into it. So there's one key step forwards between the 4 and the 5. It's a lighter shoe. What else? Well, if we look at the sole, we have an updated Vibram sole. This is the Vibram Mega Grip, so a step on from the Speedgoat 4. Do you notice a particular difference? I'm not sure. I don't. It's very difficult to tell, but it is an updated sole. And also, if we can get a closer look at it, you might be able to see that in the lugs themselves are extra little mini lugs, and they're sort of extra tiny grip points and referred to as traction lugs. If I pick up the 4 as before and I take that closer, you'll see that the similar lugs are pretty smooth in between them. So they're still multi-directional, but they've got those extra mini lugs on them, so they're referred to by Hoka as traction lugs now. Sticking with the main part of the shoe and coming to the toe box, we've still got that lovely width to it. It's very roomy, it allows for your feet to swell if that's what you want, but more importantly as well, it allows for your feet to splay a little and get some of that natural movement as you hit the ground. I like the toe box. It's along with the cushioning, it's the key factor for me, and that's really good. Slight change is the tongue. So what we had to show you the difference, if I go back to the 3 and if I just show you the 3's tongue, we've got much more of an additional quite fat comfort tongue. The 4 became very thin, and it was gusseted, and was a big shift forwards. That helped reduce the weight increase between those two, that the tongue itself was lighter. It compensated a bit for weight elsewhere. The tongue on the 5 is a little bit in between. It looks very thin when you look at it, and the end bit is very thin, but it's got a bit more padding to it. It's still gusseted. It's a very nice gusset. I don't feel any discomfort from it. But there is a subtle change in the tongue. Now we come to one difference that I'm not over keen on, and that is the heel pull. And you'll notice it's become a solid, turn it round, a solid pull that you get your fingers on and pull in. Now, I guess one argument is you can get a really good grip on it. However, I am a big fan of strong loop pulls. I've never had a loop pull break on me, never. In all the years I've been doing triathlons, trail running, whatever. So I personally don't quite get the logic behind this. Does it make a big difference? No, it doesn't, because I'm not really using the tug pull an awful lot. But if I was regularly doing Xterras and that sort of thing, and doing fast transitions on off-road tries, then I think it might annoy me a little bit. So that's one change that I'm not 100% alongside and aligned with. So there we are. The key difference is it remains a neutral shoe. I slightly require a stability shoe, but I'm incredibly happy running this as a neutral shoe. I like the arch support that it's got. It fits true to size, so I run, my natural size is a size 8 UK, 42 European, and that's what I order, and that's what I've had all my Speedgoats, my various 2s, 3s, 4s, and now this Speedgoat 5 that I've got. If you're used to the Speedgoat, you will find it a very familiar shoe. It's really comfy to put on, you'll know your size, and you can get into running on it without any real desire or sense of need to run the shoe in. It's a great shoe. If you haven't run with the Speedgoat, give it a go. It's well worth it, and particularly if you're getting, I hate to say this, getting older or have a few knee issues and so on, it is a plush but responsive shoe, balanced as Hoka say. In terms of upgrading, should you go out and buy a pair of these now? To be honest, no. If you've got the 4 and you're loving it and it's got miles left in it, keep wearing it, obviously. However, I think it's a great shoe. It's a really good shoe, and I love it. I'm slightly biased. I'm not paid for this. I'm not supported by Hoka in any way, shape or form, but I do love the Speedgoats. They suit my style of running and the trails that I run on. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, and also share it and let your friends know all about it. If you'd like to buy this shoe, or for that matter even, because they've still got some, the Speedgoat 4, well, there's a link to Wiggle in the description down below. Everything that you buy through that link, and you can buy bike, running kit, you name it, through there, the channel gets just a tiny bit, and it helps keep the channel going. You pay no more, and in fact you get some really good deals going that way. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then please click on the little round picture down there. You can visit our website, clicking here, and 2 videos you might like to look at. One is the review of the Speedgoat 4, and the other up there is the review of Innovate's Trailfly Ultra G300 Max. Bit of a mouthful. Thanks again for watching, and see you soon.